Karibu sana. This is the Treasures of Life show. Yes, I'm right to say welcome back, by the way, because we were with you last week. How have you been? My name is Jonas Simba, and this is the Treasures of Life show, your home of energy. How have you been for the last 1 week since we last spoke about the art of conflict resolution? What a show that was with Sarah Mburu, the professional counselor. Thank you for your comments on 0111980384. Today we brought you another interesting topic with a familiar guest. You have seen Nicholas Oyo in our Politics Today show, but I decided to bring him today here on Treasures of Life show because of his expertise. He is a journalist. Can you believe it? Hey, hi, Nicholas.
Yeah, how are you, John?
Fine.
Thank you.
Nicholas, you are certified journalist, qualified journalist of, what are you?
Yeah, I'm trained in journalism, School of Journalism.
UON. Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm a journalist.
Oh, great.
I can cover you now.
Our sign language interpreter is Wanja Ngethe. Feel free to share with us on that number 0111980384. Blind Jonas Simba, Facebook and TikTok. Go in there. You will see the blood moon. Yeah, I posted it. I took a photo of the blood moon. We had the blood moon yesterday.
Yeah.
7th of September.
The moon is showing us things.
Yes.
So those are signs up there.
But
it's just life, and we don't need to be panicky about anything.
Yes.
It's just part of the nature.
Yes. Wanja Ngethe, sign language interpreter, and our guest is Nicholas Oyo. He is the Secretary General, Free Kenya Movement, and in this case, he wears the hat of a journalist. That's why I brought him. We are talking about effective communication. Can you believe it? Effective communication. I think we reach a point where we need to talk about communication. Don't you think, Nicholas?
Yeah, even in my capacity as a Secretary General, I communicate a lot.
Yes.
So it is part of the job description. In these days, this world, you must really communicate.
Yes.
There is need for you to understand that communication is about how you communicate ideas, how you share frustrations, how you share thoughts, how you share maybe reports, things that you've done, experiences, opportunities. So communication is life.
Communication is not just for the people from the group or schools. Don't you think so?
Yeah, everybody communicates
in
their own way. Even animals have communication.
Okay.
So really communication is a universal thing that brings people together to share, who are sharing something common.
Yeah.
And they want to share some maybe issues, experiences. So communication is universal.
Interestingly, as we talk to Kenya today on this inclusion platform, Science TV, of course, is your inclusion platform. As we talk to Kenyans today, we are not talking to strangers. That explains one rule of communication, don't you think?
Yeah.
Do not speak to strangers. Understand your audience.
You need to understand your audience. But I would not say you're not really speaking to strangers. Your audience could be strangers.
Okay.
People you've never met before. So the question of how you approach communication starts with the fact that you must understand the audience of some sort. Take time to understand who you're communicating to.
Okay.
Take time to understand what you want to communicate. Take time to understand the channel you're using. What are you using? If you're using maybe writing, then you have to know how to write precisely and make sure what you're saying. If you're using any other means, electronic means like we are doing now, then you must know how to shape your message to fit that and know that the audience is out there and who and who.
Let's talk about understanding your audience for a moment. Respect your audience.
There are issues, there are certain issues that you have to use when you're communicating.
Right.
There are certain, should I call them ways that you need to communicate
Yeah.
for when you're looking at your audience.
Yeah.
The first thing is a clear message. You have to have a clear message. Your clear message must be precise, must be concise, and must also make sure that it is communicating what you want.
Okay.
So that is very effective to have a clear message. The second issue is to have a situation where you are attentive, you are listening. You have to understand that those people you are communicating to,
Yeah.
you must be able to make them understand what you're saying. You must pay attention to what they are saying also.
Right.
You must hear what they are saying. That brings us to the question of feedback, of communication. How do
Okay.
you feedback to ensure that you get what the person who you are talking to or communicating to is also responding? So you must also know those issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interestingly, let me ask you a question. If I'm a deaf person, I don't know whether this explains something, or if I'm visually impaired, a blind person, do I have a challenge, of course, in getting feedback? And how do I communicate effectively? Because my communication is my support. My communication is my access to opportunities. How do I get this correctly?
It is also now the question of the audience you are working with, and
Okay.
also you as a person who is receiving. In that case, you are talking about empathy. You must understand the person you're communicating to.
Okay.
If I'm talking to Jonah and I'm showing you pictures and you can't see, then I'm not being empathetic to you.
Yeah, but you can act the pictures.
I could. So
Yes.
that is when now you talk about empathy. How do you communicate to somebody?
Yeah.
Like now when I'm talking to you like this, I must know that I need to communicate for you to hear as opposed to you to see what I'm saying. I
Okay.
cannot write a text and put to your face because you won't see that. But then you can find that somebody else would write that and videos and what have you. That's why these days you go to your phones and you will find that the video has accessibility in it for you to be able to listen to audio. So
Okay.
it can even tell you what the video is about. It can even describe if it is now for a person who is visually impaired, because
Okay.
it makes you get the context of what is being said. You know, communication is also about the context of it.
Okay.
Why are you communicating? Are you communicating because you want something that people need to understand? Are you communicating? The context is important.
Okay.
What message you want to pass home. So empathy becomes the issue where now, if you're dealing with a question of somebody who has a certain challenge,
Yeah.
then you must be empathetic to that particular challenge.
Okay. Okay. I spoke about respect. You've spoken about empathy. Is there a place in which you can be taken, you can be misunderstood for lacking respect to your audience? Because when you spoke about understanding your audience, one of the things I took it from you is that you respect your audience before you speak to them. By the way, all audiences are to be respected. Is there an audience where you can chukwa juju?
That is why you must understand the audience you're dealing with.
Okay.
Because if you're speaking to a thief, there's a way that is now a different issue. You probably must scream and what have you. So that
Okay.
invites you to something called nonverbal cues. You must know the nonverbal communication. There is something that people don't tell you, but you can see from their posture, you can see from the way they maybe dress, the way they look, the way they listen, their facial reaction, those kind of things. So you must be able to also understand somebody without even having to hear them speak alone.
Okay.
It can be the way their appearance are, the way they are dressed, the way they are, the posture they've taken, the tone they're giving. I can say, Jonah, I don't want you to do that. And I can say, Jonah, I don't want you to do that. That's the difference of the tone.
Yeah.
Communicates to you something.
Yeah.
So those nonverbal cues help you to know that this crowd, the respect might not be the most important thing. This might be about a matter of something is going away. So
Yeah.
if somebody is stealing your phone, you must say, Mwizi. Now
Okay.
that might not be about respect. It's more about, I want to make people see what is happening to come into assistance. So you are summoning support from people. So that has to be communicated at a level where they can understand that there's an emergency here that needs to be dealt with. So you have to look at the context, you have to look at the non-verbal cues. Is somebody coming to you and do they look like they want to steal from you?
Okay.
Is somebody coming to you and they look like they're not really, you are afraid the way they are moving because they're moving very fast or they're moving in a brisk manner and they may knock you down. So these kind of things are important to know when you're communicating.
I'm looking at, still on that level of respect and understanding your audience. I spoke of something interesting, taken lightly, I'm looking at two scenarios. A bouncer in a club in Nairobi, somewhere in Dandora, and a bouncer in London, somewhere. All speaking to somebody.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a bouncer speaking to one of the clients in Dandora and telling them they want to take them outside of the club. And I'm hearing this other bouncer in London. And I'm hearing the bouncer in London saying, "Sir, may I help you out?" And then the bouncer in Dandora, obviously, they may not use the...
I get the scenario. It is,
language diet.
There's that thing of also cultural issues around communication. There's all that. And that's why we are saying, even the non-verbal cues, communication is a very...
Yeah, I've heard of Tanzanians, na tafadhali naweza kukushika.
Tafadhali naweza kukushika nikuweke pingu. Tell Kenya like that. The guy will take off. I even hate you.
Yes.
But then a Tanzanian would understand that he's being told that you are under arrest. So you see, those are things that you deal with. There are places you would go to, and if you nod up and down, you take your head up and down, it means actually you're saying no.
Yeah.
You know those things.
There are places like that, and when you shake right and left, you're saying yes. Yes.
So this is an issue that you must always understand how to communicate that.
Yeah, and there are places where there was one American president who said "yeah" on a plane, and a photo was taken, the thumb. Yeah, and the photo was taken, and the following day in that country, it was the headline picture. And in that country, that's an abusive sign.
Yeah. You see, and for him, he's trying to...
Say thumbs up.
He's having a problem of putting the words because you're getting a situation where two people don't have enough words to say to each other. So he imagines that he can use some sign. And you see now signs like that in a place like that may mean a different thing. There's a thumbs up, there's a thumb side, there's a thumb down.
But do you understand Luo?
I do.
A bit of it. There is a word around the gens.
I can win some seats in Nyanza.
Yeah. There is a Gen Z, something that has gone very viral. You've heard of Kumi na Nne Bora, Kumi na Nne Supu, and then Along Lilo. I said that to a team of Luos, and they told me it's an abusive word. But the Gen Zs and the young people are taking it like it's the in thing. Is it true that Along Lilo means an imported man? Long Lilo.
I want to, my law is a bit limited on that.
Yes.
But it is possible that is what it's saying. And you see, the issue is this, that we take words and we make them trend. And sometimes Kumi na Nne Bora, even me, I've not really understood where it came from and how what it really means. Because those are things that this generation has a lot of trendy kind of things.
Yes.
And they move very quickly to another trend, to another trend, to another trend. And I think it is because us growing up, there was a generation where we had to bring in shame.
Yeah.
Because you found yourself in a situation, Jonah, that you have a phone there. And that phone is next to your dad.
Right.
And it is a phone wired on it uses a wire. So when you are called, you are speaking and your dad is next to you here, or your mom. So your communication, you don't want them to know what you're saying to the other person.
Yes.
So you end up having to create a language for yourselves. Now this generation is going towards the trendiness, and they are getting the information from other trends around, and they are bringing it into the communication space. So the Gen Zs may have things that they are saying, and you cannot even catch what they are saying because the trend changes very quickly.
Right.
It is the question that people say about something like Kiswahili, the way it was brought up,
right,
to become Kiswahili, the official standard Kiswahili. You know, there is a lot of work that was done to make it the official language, the standard language of Kiswahili. And they are something that you can call dialects of some sort. Because if you go to Tanzania, there's a different Swahili. If you go to Zanzibar, there's a different. If you come to Kenya, if you go to Uganda, they're all speaking. If you go to Congo, they're all speaking Swahili, but you will find that there is a different dialect. That's why the context is very important. So again, you find something like Shem. I had an argument with a friend, and I was telling them that I think if I was to get some opportunity, I would bring up Shem as the next language and actually work on it to make sure that it can become the language we talk, because everybody can plug into Shem. The only problem is that you must look at the vocabulary and ensure that it doesn't change overnight. You're sleeping today, you have said Moti, and tomorrow it is Dinga.
Yes, and who regulates it?
and that's the problem.
Who regulates Sheng?
There's no real regulation for something like Sheng. And so you need to standardize.
And nowadays there's Sheng Beteng.
Yeah, exactly.
Nina Kulombo Tovu.
Nima Kulombo Tovu, things like those. Zombote, you know. And you know, it comes from even musicians, comes from these people who are, what do you call it, these guys who are influencers. They say something and young people go with it and move very quickly. So
but sometimes I give these leaders a call, I mean national leaders, and I start with English, and we finish many of them in Shen.
No, it has
interestingly.
It has become almost official. There was a time you could not you could not do a meeting on WhatsApp. Call people on a meeting on WhatsApp. I remember when phones became a thing, 2010 there, 2011, 2012. Somebody bringing a problem in parliament that you were summoned through the WhatsApp. These days, that is the mode of engagement. In fact, you do meetings on WhatsApp sometimes. There's a group that is formed, and these guys can have a discussion, and you are where you are, and somebody is somewhere. They're having a meeting. We've done a lot of meetings on WhatsApp, and you actually write minutes. So things change with time. People begin to understand technologies and what have you, and things move on as they go on. I think there'll be a time, Jonah, that someone like you can even now begin to be able to see somehow, because technology creates something that you can use. So communication is something that is dynamic. It changes with a lot of things, including environment, including the context, including even the cultural situations.
And when you speak about effective communication, now we are not just touching on public speaking. We are also touching on person to person. Personal branding. Very reliable, very dependent on communication. Is that true? You can brand yourself with communication. You've heard of one Patrick Lumumba?
Exactly.
Do you understand sometimes what he says? By the way, he quotes Luanda Magere.
Patrick Lumumba.
He quotes Luanda Magere and he quotes all those people.
You'll be surprised.
Yes.
Patrick Lumumba is a very good communicator in Luo,
really?
Swahili, and English too. And he's a very serious authority in those three languages.
How about
Raila? I
Raila?
suspect he also understands some other French and what have you.
How about Raila Odinga?
Raila Odinga is good in communicating, I call it mobilizing through communication.
Catching the audience, the
catching
attention
the audience,
of
because
the
you see,
audience.
He knows how to create the icebreaker that becomes the most effective thing that he's trying to send. You remember he used to do the commentating of football. And he was always a scorer.
And the late John Mishuki was always falling in the game. Mishuki anaanguka.
And he mentioned names and said that Mishuki, the defender pale, and then somebody has passed him, and there's a pass coming towards Wamalwa.
And that team had a mixture of both men and women, because Ngil was part of it.
So really, it is the way you deal with the context that you're facing.
Yes.
So there's a lot of, as we've discussed here, communication is very dynamic.
Yes.
And depends on a lot of those factors. But if you want to do effective communication, there are some call it some situations that you can work with.
Okay.
As you said, there is a clear message. A message must be clear.
Okay.
You must have active listening. You must have non-verbal cues.
Yes.
You must be empathetic. You must have feedback, and
Okay.
it must be adaptable.
Now, let's talk about the end game for a moment. At the end of the day, when you're looking at the peace of your family, peace of your nation, peace of your religious sector, can you bring this in the language? Is there tonation? Can you speak to bring peace effectively?
You can. Jonah, there is a lot of, I will tell you something.
Yes.
There is a history where the president of Prussia,
Yes.
some people may not know Prussia, but that was
Prussia, yeah,
before
Prussia,
Germany-
not Russia,
before Germany
Prussia.
came,
Yeah,
there was
Prussia, yeah.
Prussia.
Yeah.
You can call it Prussia, me I call it Prussia. because
Right.
Russia is
Yeah.
Russia. But it's not really related to Russia, it's more related to Germany. So Bismarck was the leader of Prussia. And they were targeting to fight the superpower at that time was France. And so he used communication to start the war. But when he was starting this war, he was already prepared. He
Okay.
had prepared his troops, he had prepared himself. I want to go to a fight with you, John. While you are doing your other things, me, I'm already preparing for a fight with you. I'm taking my time, I'm understanding you, I'm studying your weakness. I know everything that I need to do.
Yeah.
So when I come to you and say, Jonah, unaniletea nini? I'm already prepared. I know that Jonah nikipiga ngumi hii pande ya left.
Yes.
Anakuwa na shida. So that is what he did. He actually wrote some abusive words in a letter.
Okay.
That was a diplomatic row there. And so, Louis, I think this was Louis, I don't remember
Philippe.
which Louis, eh? No, it was Louis somebody.
Uh-huh.
I think Louis the third, or I think the 12th or something.
Okay.
He felt that this was basically somebody who is, quote unquote, insubordinating his position
Okay.
as the leader of the world at that point. So
Okay.
he was like, no, somebody as small as it cannot play around with us. And the war began. And Prussia won the war.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you see, you can also use peace at the same time, just as you can create war with communication.
Yeah, I
Also
remember
create
when there was a
peace
problem in,
communication.
and we are winding up. We are going for a break.
Yeah.
When there was a problem in France, and the queen said, "These people, they want bread. Give them cakes."
Yeah,
Yeah.
Antoinette, Marie Antoinette.
Yes.
Basically, for her, she didn't understand the situation.
Perfect.
She's wondering that they're making noise about
Hold it.
lack. Yeah.
Lack of bread.
Yes.
Hold it there. This is the Treasures of Life show, and my name is Jonas Simba. Treasures of Life show is your point of energy. I call it home of energy. 0111980384 is the number on which you can share energy with us here. We are talking about effective communication, and our sign language interpreter is none other than Wanjang Ethe. And I'm with Nicholas Oyo, Secretary General, Free Kenya Movement. Today he comes on a different hat. He comes as a journalist, Nicholas.
Yeah, I'm also a trained journalist.
Yes, I'm surprised you're a trained journalist. Uko na certificate, a degree.
Yeah. Naweza kufanyia ma reporting mbaya sana.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Blind Jonas Simba, Facebook and TikTok. Science TV on YouTube. Just get in there. Give us your comments. This is your inclusion platform. Do not be afraid. Now, Nicholas,
Yeah.
you have a degree in communication.
It is a journalism degree. Communication,
Yes.
journalism is to communicate using certain channels.
Yeah.
But then there is part of journalism
Uh-huh.
and communication. Journalism is to communicate that to people and to make sure that the message gets out.
So communication is part of journalism.
Exactly, yeah. You
Okay.
learn a lot of communication skills and what have you.
Okay. Because I met a friend who has a hotel. He operates in the hospitality industry. And he told me that he prefers to hire diploma level workers than degree workers, because the diploma people, the certificate people seems to be more hands-on on matters chakura than the degree people. With communication, is your degree helpful? Because, Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi communicated. Pastors who communicate. We have a lot of TikTok. And you hear a lot on TikTok. Is that very good communication? What's your opinion? It seems like, is there any need to go into a classroom to be taught communication? Is there any need for somebody to sit and listen to us to be taught how to communicate?
I think it is necessary, it is important.
Yeah.
But I get you when you say that there is also options. We talked about communication being very dynamic, depending on the context. And those pastors you're talking about, President Moi being what he was, but Moi went through a process before he became the president.
Okay.
Didn't just turn up as president from ile shule walikuwa nasema.
Okay.
Moi became somebody who is in LegCo and learned how to work in the system. And so by the time he was becoming president, he was also vice president for, I think, 12 years.
Okay.
So at that time, you learn how to communicate.
And he was also a teacher at Tambach High.
Yes, exactly. So you learn the diplomatic core, you learn the issues about how to engage with people, you learn how to dress well. Moi was a very good dresser.
Okay.
You learn how to present yourself well. You could see those things, national days, the way he was in charge of those things.
Yeah.
And he used to actually like to hire people who actually are trained.
Okay.
Because he didn't want, even when he's not as trained as those people, he preferred to give them the opportunity.
Okay.
So I think for him, communication was not just about Moi himself. It was also about the people around him.
Okay.
In Moi, we learned things like protocol. In him, we learned those kind of stuff.
Okay.
That that you must do this way, this manner. So you get that even when he was at the level where he was, he appreciated effective communication.
Okay. Is there a case where I can stand on a podium, and sorry to use the example, but I'm a woman, I'm standing on a podium, I'm speaking to a group, probably these are a cultural group, and then they misunderstand me by virtue of my dressing?
Yes.
Can I be talking maybe to a group of, which example, Kenya has different cultures, maybe Maasai, and I'm standing before them as a leader, and they just are switched off by my dressing. Is there such a thing?
It happens a lot.
Okay.
As you've said, communication is also non-verbal cues.
Okay.
What you communicate by the way you dress, the way you walk, the way you sit,
Okay.
the way you even eat in some functions. You've heard people say that this is, when you go to a restaurant, you will be taught something like etiquette, and you're told that when you want to communicate to the waiter that I'm full, there's a way you put the fork, there's a way you put it when you are still want more.
Okay.
There is a way that you're told that if you go to the buffet, you cannot just go there and pick everything. You go and come back. There's a way you take your soup. Those kind of stuff. So the issue about this communication is that it's not about what you say alone. It's about who are you? How are you approaching these people? You come to a meeting, for instance, if you are going to, let's say, for instance, I'm a parent.
Yeah.
I'm going to a parents' day meeting.
Yeah.
And I'm dressed in maybe shorts and what have you. People may take me differently. They may wonder.
Maybe you have bones to pick with the school driver.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you
for
get,
not picking your child.
Yeah. So you get those are things that you must be aware of every time you want to do communication.
Okay.
So you must always understand that as a woman addressing, say, a crowd, for instance, they've had problems because somebody may dress the way you've had the question of my dress, my choice, and what have you.
Yeah.
But it is all about communication. There are people who may not even allow you to speak because the way you are dressed. So those are all ways of communication. When you come to a place and they feel that you're not well presented,
Yeah.
you may get a problem. Yeah.
Okay. We hear lawyers use ties. Is that true? Bankers use ties, neckties like mine. Yeah, there are discussions that nowadays we are going to have a change of the tie culture. What do you have to say about that? Do you have something like, you know, color psychology, tie culture, and all stuff like that affecting communication?
Yeah, it is an issue that you will find.
Right.
There was a time I was looking at a video where Obama wore some beige coat when he was president. And the entire thing that he was saying, people were not paying attention because the discussion was about why would he wear such kind of a jacket. The color of the jacket was something strange to those people. But I think some of these things are just blowing it out of proportion sometimes. In Africa now, if you go to Ghana, if you go to Nigeria, the dressing that is called official now, you will find that somebody is dressed in the attire that is local attire.
Yeah, a friend of mine is ordering Senegalese. Seriously, he wants Senegalese attire.
Yeah.
I managed to connect him to someone who sells it. He is serious. He wants a Senegalese clothing.
And you will find that those now
Yes.
have become the official dressing in those countries.
Okay.
And that means that now the Thai culture now goes out because it means that they can dress in that manner. You cannot put a tie on the African attire. It doesn't make sense unless you come up with a new with a new kind of dressing.
Yes.
You've seen even shirts now. There used to be shirts like the ones me and you are wearing, which were the normal, usual shirts. But now you see shirts with very vibrant printing and what have you, African printing becoming also useful now. So you find all those things are coming up. People are beginning to call it plug-in their cultural norms into some of this communication. And so the Thai issue may end up being something that at the start of it was very important. But then it was just because of the kind of culture we were encultured into. The British culture, where there is a way that they do those things. There's a tuxedo. There is what? You wear a tuxedo when you go to a dinner. You do that kind of stuff. But here, we are changing some of those things. And
actually, the last time I saw a tuxedo was when Wamalwa Kijana, the late, was
when he used to like his strip suits, and Jonjo he used to like the strip suits. So you find that those were things that were brought to us by the culture that those people brought here. But then now, things changed. You look at Americans and you will look at some of these rich people. You look at Zuckerberg and you will find that the guy is in a t-shirt and is in a very serious meeting. And jeans. So you find that these things are changing as cultures move.
It's part of communication?
It is. Even the way you do your hair. Now you cannot send somebody out of your office because they are putting on dreadlocks. You will get yourself in court. But there was a time that was an issue. You couldn't come into a serious office and you are putting on dreadlocks. Those are
mistaken for some robber or something.
Exactly. So communication changes with the cultures and the dynamics that come in. And now you go into some countries, you will find that they're still retaining some of those, call it traditional ways of dressing, traditional ways of showing up in events. There are different events that you have to show up in. You've seen the weddings, the way they've changed. There used to be a time when weddings were a different thing. Now everybody has their own colors and what have you, and themes. And so those are things that basically are improving, or rather changing communication in a way.
But won't you be worried if you see so many mini skirts in town and so many jean trousers in town? Maybe someone is communicating rebellion?
That is what it is about. The 60s. In the 60s, and people maybe don't know this.
And here we are talking about you're just rebels without a cause, because why should you really go that far?
No, the issue is just we don't want to do what our parents are doing. We want to be different. We want to be seen to be different. The young people are expressing themselves. In the 60s, that is the age that is considered very wild. People used to wear those very big ninis, what you call
Bell
it?
bottom.
Bell bottoms
And platform shoes.
And platform shoes, and there was a lot of mini skirts there at that time.
Yeah.
And it was considered just okay, you see. So these things change with time.
Okay.
You find there was a time that now the dress was, you have to put it down to the ground if you are a woman.
Okay.
And that kind of stuff. So the communication changes with times that come. And rebellion is usually what changes communication. You see, the thing is this.
Right.
Communication, people find expression. And when they find expression, they take up something that is going to show them as different from what existed. And then it becomes the trend. And when it becomes a trend, people move to that, and somebody else comes with something else, becomes a trend, and people move to that.
But aren't you worried, Nicholas, when someone says we should not continue with ties? Because ties communicates order. Don't you think that when I'm in a tie, I'm communicating order? Some people say I'm trying to hide my disorderliness. But many of the very formal professions, like lawyers, you know, like journalists, like bankers, their men have to use ties. And even the executive, they have a specific blue. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, there's a power blue, there's a power black blue.
Yes.
That kind of stuff.
Yes, and with a
There's-
certain red.
There's
a
certain
crimson
colors you
red.
can't put there. But
Yeah.
this is what's happening.
Yes.
If you now go to Ghana and you walk into the executive meeting, you will be so shocked. There are no ties there.
Okay.
You get the point, eh? So what we are saying is this, that these things are changing. It is probably us who are holding on to, as Kenyans maybe, as maybe East Africans, because of our British origin, we are holding on to certain things that are British because that is what we know.
Okay.
But then you go to other places and some of these things are changing. Even some places, uniforms have gone out of, schools are no longer uniforming.
Okay.
They're just wearing anything else, but you have to be neat, so to speak. So
You
these
know-
things are taking the world by storm. And you know, we are having a generation that is coming in that is really very reactive to how they do, the way they dress and what have you. So it is very possible you will get a certain time that this has completely shifted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It is just life, and for me, ties can be there, but they can also end up becoming things that people say those are for the past. And that is a possibility.
for me as a blind person, how do I adapt with the people I'm talking to?
It is just taking time to try and understand the audience you are taking. Maybe for you now, it will mean that you take more time to try and internalize what you want to say and how it will mean to those people. Because in your situation, maybe colors may not really mean much.
Yeah, colour
because you have,
psychology,
yes, you have not
dressing
lived in that world of colors and what have you.
Yes.
But also you still get to be, call it, socialized into the way things are happening.
Yeah.
You get to learn that even you know that there is a blue that is power blue and what have you. So you learn those things. But you take your time, you take more time to try and listen more, because for you now you can't say you are seeing, so you must now.
And there's a place for connecting with the audience for me as a visually impaired person and maybe a deaf person. You have to use a lot of relaxation methods.
But again,
you know, like
yes,
jokes and
yes,
stuff like
exactly. You've seen people who will go and joke about themselves in as an icebreaker.
Okay.
You find those people are
hoping
very
that
good.
the joke doesn't you may think you're
Yeah, you
joking
must find a way to, even that joke that you're thinking.
yeah.
You find somebody will say it and looks very relaxed, but they took a lot of time to build on it because it's something that they probably have taken their time to see that it fits.
Okay.
Because that is important. Icebreakers are very good.
Give me an example that a deaf person can use as a joke to connect with the audience. Can you think of any?
I think maybe you can joke about, you imagine that I'm hearing, but sometimes I just hear something. You know, you can just find something that is unusual to those people, because those people.
I once tried to joke with the audience. I'm a very good communicator, for your information. You're aware of that. But
Congratulations.
yes, you're aware. You've been in settings.
No,
where
yeah,
communicating.
yeah, I know.
I'm a very good public
I know,
speaker.
yes.
That goes without saying. But I had one nasty experience.
Which everybody has in
Where-
a communication situation.
Yeah, where I didn't understand the audience very well, and it was a big audience. So I joked, and instead of them laughing, they felt sympathetic. They were like, oh, yeah, you know, like they were sorry for me. And that's not the reaction I wanted.
You're looking for.
I wanted them to laugh.
But this is what it is.
Yes.
You must understand that reactions can shock you. That is what your communication is about. You must adjust as quickly as possible. We said communication is dynamic. The moment you realize that they've taken sympathy,
Yeah.
then you can move with the sympathy and use it again. Because you have to have ways to fit in.
Right.
If you rely on just one, you look for a laughter. If it works, fine. But it might not work because people might be in a different mood, tone, what have you, and context and all that stuff.
Okay.
So you may find people who are different. And sometimes this thing is about also knowing who is the main, call it the main artery of communication.
Okay.
The person who looks like the person who leads the herd, so to speak.
Okay.
There is 3-4 people you may find in a room that look like everybody relates to them. And those are the guys who you want to make sure that they're the first to answer to you.
Okay.
So if they answer and they laugh, the others now laugh.
Okay.
You've seen the way that somebody can do a yawn and everybody begins to yawn.
Yeah.
So communication is also that kind of.
Do you, for example, have a problem with someone who speaks with a lot of, for those who can speak well?
Yeah, it is of course a hindrance to communication.
Those
But
are
again,
habits.
Yeah, they're habits, and you need to try to change them slowly.
Okay.
Learn how to speak. Jonah, you can remember yourself when the first time you spoke in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
Everybody will tell you about butterflies.
Yeah.
People see butterflies when they get into love relationships. People see butterflies when they meet a crowd. They want to speak in publicly for the first time.
Yeah.
So the butterflies like that, you end up getting habits that you pick up.
And there are people who, when they laugh, they touch the tip of their nose.
Yeah, exactly. Those are habits that you pick up.
Yeah.
And people need to learn how to unhabit themselves, for instance.
Yeah.
If I can use that kind of a word. You remove yourself from the habit that creates a hindrance to communication.
Okay.
Because you'll find someone who has those as and some phrases that they make in communication a lot of times. They must always put that phrase. It is them trying to process message in their mind. So sometimes it helps them to process message, but you need to take time to learn yourself and to see if you can process message faster without having to create something that is seen directly. You can have something that you have inside you that I don't have to see, that helps you process.
Perfect.
It's a lot of work to do those things. I'll give you an example of a president who, Abraham Lincoln. People said that he used to go and give speeches to trees.
Okay.
So when he gives a speech to you guys, he has taken a lot of time to build himself to come in.
That brings another angle of practicing before you speak.
Exactly.
Before, a group. Of course, if you're called to speak, there's a time you need to spend to prepare your speech, right?
You need to prepare your speech.
Okay.
You need to understand the audience you're speaking to.
Okay.
You need to understand the subject matter you are talking to.
Okay.
You need to understand the examples you want to use. And you need to know that those examples are effective to help the communication you are trying to send pass across, yes. So you must look at all those kind of stuff. By the time you're putting yourself in front of the crowd, you have taken time to do that. But again, preparation can also give you anxiety. So you must always learn how to prepare without giving yourself too much anxiety.
I've just scratched my head, and I wanted to ask you a question.
You had something you want to say, and you felt that, yeah.
No,
I
no,
get.
you know, when you're speaking before an audience, are there some bad habits, you know, things to avoid? Like, I've just scratched my head. Can you not scratch where it itches? You know, can you?
Not
There's
really.
some kind of you know, we have people who try to mend their throats. You've heard of that?
Yeah, Jonah,
You know, such things. Is it, how free can I be?
you need to have your personality there, John. So because you may feel something, and if you don't scratch it, it becomes worse and worse. Have you ever felt something that if you don't scratch it, it continues to look like it's now boring a hole on you? It
Okay.
will stop you from communicating the way you should. So you
Okay.
just find a way of doing it without getting out of context, without making a big show about it.
And of course, remembering you're before people, so there's
Yeah,
how
exactly.
far you can go in
Yeah,
scratching.
exactly. There's how far you can go. And if it becomes a problem, you can actually find a way of stopping and continuing later. Those are some of the things that you must learn how to do. Because communication is also about how you present something without you having to suffer the
Okay.
consequences of not being able to allow yourself to process the message that you want to present. So if you feel that there is your shoe is pinching
Yeah.
very seriously, you can just find a way to approach the person who has the platform and to give your information and say there's something going on here. I need to deal with it. It's just normal. We are human and we have these problems.
How destructive can the facts in your message be? You know, the correctness of what you're talking.
Yeah, the messages can be very destructive.
I mean,
You may
correctness.
Yes, you may want to say something,
Right.
but the example you've given becomes the message. You've
Okay.
seen cases where somebody went and the event was about maybe tea, and the issue that came out was somebody who spoke something completely different from what was in the event.
Okay.
And so people went to that issue because probably it was a bit more exciting, it was a bit more maybe something that is of the moment,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Look at the example. NAC was having a meeting in Kasarani where they wanted to declare one of them as the person who is going to become the presidential candidate. And they had a lot of fights between them. And Raila comes and says, Kibaki Tosha. Kibaki Tosha became the meeting.
Okay.
We only remember Kibaki Tosha for that meeting.
Okay.
The entire thing they were saying is not really important anymore. Kibaki Tosha becomes what endures.
Okay.
And we always say that Raila said Kibaki Tosha.
So you should be reading the mood of the crowd. as
Exactly.
you're
And you
talking.
see now Raila read the mood of the crowd and knew how to position himself to become a very powerful person.
Now that you're
and
talking
never
about
meant.
that, I attended a church somewhere in Bungoma, and there were so many people in attendance, and there was a young man who had come back from Canada, or is it the US? And then after the sermon, I asked some women there, about 5 of them, how was that sermon? Said, hey, huyo kijana anajua kizungu.
You get the point. Now the kizunguness becomes the hindrance to the message. I'm sure you ask them the message, they can't tell you.
No,
what
they
was
knew
being
about
spoken
the English, but not the...
So that is important.
In fact, they said, anacharasa kizungu.
And unfortunately for that kijana,
Yes.
he may have said something very important, but nobody listens because everybody is listening to the kizunguness of his maybe the
speech.
twang or what have you.
Yeah.
I don't know what somebody can do in that scenario because you may find yourself. But Jonah, I knew somebody called Shakasali.
Okay.
And
Thank God
Shakasali,
it's
you
not
know him also.
Shakahola.
Shakasali. Now see, you want to block the communication. Shakasali.
Yes.
And Shakasali is a Ugandan. And he's been in the US for 30 long years. I think he died, if I'm not wrong. I think so. Shakasali could talk the way, like somebody, his accent was very clear that he's a Ugandan.
Okay.
You see some young people go to the US, and within 2 weeks, or even UK, within 2 weeks, they're speaking in a twang like those where they came from.
And those are not Nigerians or Indians.
Exactly.
The Nigerians or Indians would never change their accents for some reason.
But this is something, Jonah,
Yeah.
and I feel maybe something that even us, we need to have a discussion about some point.
Yes.
Nigeria has used its Pygmy language, its Pygmy English, as a marketing tool. They have basically, you know a Nigerian when he speaks.
Yeah.
You know a Nigerian when they do their Niger movies. And they've sold across the world. Even Indians. They have an accent that you already know this is Indian. And it has sold them. They have Bollywood.
Yeah.
Because those are entertainment things. It's very ezy for you to talk that way.
You remember Whispers?
Yes, Whispers.
Yeah, Whispers
I used to
wrote
write.
something, and I remember Wahome Mutai.
Wahome Mutai.
I remember her daughter, was she called the investment? She used to call her the
Yeah,
investment.
exactly.
She had
And the
come from
project
the, yes,
investment.
she had come from the US.
We used to
Now
have
she was
those
speaking to
articles.
Andamati the soldier.
Yes.
And to him, Whispers, and of course to Apeps, the
Yes,
wife.
a Pep's wife.
Yes.
yeah.
And
The
she
investment.
was, yes. And by the way, Wangamati, the soldier, he used to call him the nocturnal security consultant.
Yeah,
Instead of
he had a way
and-
of communicating to us very effectively.
And she said, and she had only gone for 2 weeks, she said, we ain't gonna have no more giberai and tasteless tubers
Yeah,
in this house
yeah.
anymore. I've never forgotten that.
But Wahome Mutai was a serious communicator, and you could see the examples that he gave to his words.
Yes.
They gave you, the words gave you the image, because it creates an image with the words.
Yes.
So that's very effective communication. And you see, you can remember all those things even now.
Yes.
Yeah. It's really, those are the kind of things that you learn in communication.
Yeah.
How effective are you? How can you print an image?
That brings in the question of satire and comedy in communication. Very effective, especially for writers.
Yes, it is very important to have to make people understand that it is satire. Because some people also confuse satire sometimes when you put it in place. People think you're saying something different.
Okay.
Komcheshi Makoha is a very serious satirist, but people may confuse some of the messages he's saying.
Okay, perfect. Viewers, I'm sure you've enjoyed the show. We have been talking about effective communication. We are with Nicholas Soyo, Secretary General, Free Kenya Movement. My name is Jonas Simba. You can interact with us on 0111980384.